Imagine waking up tomorrow to find an imported sports car costs a fraction of the price. If 1 Indian rupee equaled $1, the latest iPhone would cost about 1,000 rupees. Luxury goods, international travel, and imported tech would suddenly become virtually free for everyday citizens. It is a wildly popular internet rumor that India actually lived this reality. The story goes that when India gained independence in 1947, the rupee and the dollar were perfectly equal, standing at a 1-to-1 ratio. But the math of colonialism tells a different story. The Indian rupee was never pegged to the US dollar. The British Empire had tightly pegged it to their own currency, the pound sterling. Because the British pound was valued at around $4 at the time, the math trickled down. At the exact moment of independence, $1 was already worth about 3 rupees and 30 paise. The golden era of perfect parity is a mathematical fiction. This is a chart tracking the rupee's exchange rate from 1947 to today. It shows a severe, multi-decade plunge. Over 75 years, that initial rate of 3.3 slid to 10, then 50, and now sits comfortably past 83 rupees to a single dollar. Looking at that crash, it is easy to assume the Indian economy simply failed. But that misreads how global trade actually works. For decades, the Indian government looked at its falling currency and saw a deliberate, highly calculated, and necessary strategic move. To survive in the modern world, a country has to buy things it cannot make itself. Whether it is crude oil to power cities or heavy machinery for factories, the international market demands one highly specific form of payment. You have to pay in US dollars. The world agreed to this system in 1944 at the Bretton Woods Conference. 44 nations essentially crowned the dollar as the global reserve currency, pegging the world's money to American reserves. If you wanted to participate in international trade, you needed a stockpile of American cash. This creates a dangerous trap for developing nations. If a country exports inexpensive agricultural goods, like mangoes or raw cotton, but has to import high-tech electronics and expensive foreign oil, the math turns lethal. They spend dollars much faster than they earn them, rapidly draining their national reserves. Run out of those reserves, and your economy stops dead. To keep the lights on and the factories running, India needed to aggressively attract and hoard American dollars. Rather than wait for the market to dictate terms, the Indian government took drastic action. In 1949, again in 1966, and notably in 1991, policymakers stepped in and intentionally destroyed the value of their own currency, actively devaluing the rupee. Slashing the face value of the rupee did something highly specific. It put a massive discount tag on the entire nation. Overnight, India